I really want to do a very quick targeting exercise because most people will be like, well, it's the CEO. I need to talk to the person in charge. And it's like, well, it's a 5,000 person company. Do you really think the CEO is the right person? Or I need to talk to the VP or head of department or whatever. It's like, yeah, maybe. But we need to hit different angles. And what often happens, and I also show this when I do my Apollo search, is like off the top of my head, I kind of run out of different titles to search for. So I've created this massive resource here that basically breaks down the different job titles by individual department within organizations. Now, let's bear in mind, every niche is a little different, but I've started with technology and development. So that's people that are building stuff. And these are all of the senior functions. This is the seniority type job titles. So if I am trying to come up with more and more and more job titles, then I would plug in these different things. It's not a perfect fit for every opportunity, but I do think it's helpful. You have the opportunity to exclude a lot of stuff. So I am encouraging people to exclude certain types of job titles that narrow down that list that's going to show up when you're doing these big company filters. And there's a lot of negative search terms that will exclude companies or industries or individual people that are not relevant for what you're looking for. So I've done that across a number of departments. So the idea here is that you're able to reach out to the perfect persona or types of people. Now, how did I build this? This looks like a lot of work. Some of it is, of course, manual, but other parts of it are really nice that, yeah, we have AI tools to build. So I have created this massive prompt. It's like, it's a two-parter, it's 17 pages. I am not asking you to read everything in here. What I am asking you to do is give it a try. So you can copy everything within the first prompt, and this will give you an identical table, but it will be specific to your potential job search using the information that you've put in. We have already created a version of this minus these three things. So you have used this for outreach, you've used this for uh, yeah, discovering of different types of things that you can create. So like there's a lot of use cases for just this stuff, which is basically feeding in your work experience. So I'm going to right click and copy. I'm going to try to use DeepSeek for this. I find DeepSeek to be really good for certain things, and its R1 model is not bad. And I just need to replace my own stuff at the bottom. So as you can see here, I already have this nice kind of open version of my different resources that I've used in previous prompts. So I'm just going to copy that, paste. I'm just filling in everything related to the first three areas, the industries, future departments, and my future possible job titles. This is telling the model exactly what I'm looking for in my next job. And now I'm running it. It's giving you a massive list of filters and functions that you can use to filter your future searches. This was a massive output, and it does allow me to go in and build my tables individually. There's a lot of crazy stuff here, a lot of stuff. That's helpful, but I want to be able to kind of summarize it in a way that I can actually apply filters in a meaningful way in a format that's easy for me to kind of get a nice overview. So I'm going to add prompt 2 to the mix, copying everything in there except for my data, which I've already used, paste and run it. Awesome. So it has built me the three personas per outreach that I may be interested in connecting at a high level in order to either network with, find a new opportunity within their organization, or whatever. So each of these miniature tables comes with the target job titles for outreach, negative job titles for filters, industry jargon terms for either good filters or bad filters, which I've added in here, the project types, negative project types. So if there's a field or an industry that this doesn't really fit what I'm looking for, then great, it's in there. This is going to allow you to have a much more expansive way of either filtering on a positive level or adding negative filters to remove certain personas. So you have much tighter lists so that you're doing outreach to the right types of people, personas as I'm calling them. And this allows you to keep your lists nice and tight and small. The way that I would make sure that I have this in a nice place is yes, you can operate out of this, or you can just grab everything, copy, paste, and now I have at least my top three personas being migrated over. Again, I can use this to be able to find different filters and make it work for me. I also can migrate over everything I got from the first prompt. Now you have an idea of what you're looking at based off of my field, what I might want to connect with from the standpoint of somebody that is an equal or somebody that's within my space that has the industry experience. And yeah, you get the concept. These titles would actually be really interesting to plug in here, and I can also use the negative filters to keep everything nice and tight from the standpoint of removing industries that I have no interest in being in or job titles that are obviously not part of the space that I want to be a part of. The purpose of this activity is to give you a lot more granular focus and an ability to narrow if you're going to be building these massive lists of similar types of targets that you're going to build lots of connections with. I think it's really important to remember that there are also negative keywords. The purpose of negative keywords, just to really drive the point home, is that there is a difference between different industries and titles that can sound, at least at face value, really similar. So there's a difference between an architect and a solutions architect. One designs buildings, another one designs databases or completely different IT systems. So it's really important to try to filter those out, and that can be done via making sure that we have lots of different industry jargon terms that are going to be present in profiles, or making sure that we have a exclude list with exclusion keywords that have nothing to do with the type of work, the industry, or the projects that ultimately that person is involved with.